Welcome. I got my good man GoldLink sitting down with me, your girl Shay Diddy 106 KMEL. How you feeling right now?
Cooling?
Is this your first time at KMEL?
Yeah.
Really? You got to feel some type of way about that. Do you feel like, not like we've been dissing you, but do you feel like over the last, because I know over the last 2 years or so, you've been getting a lot of praise in the hip hop industry.
Yeah.
Do you feel like people are kind of asleep on you?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, well, let's talk about this new album. At what cost?
Yeah. At what cost was it was a conceptual album of DC. It was kind of explaining the go-go culture, but not really the music per se, but more so the essence and everything that kind of came with it. Talking about like the positive aspects and the negative aspects that came with the music and how that bled into the communities and into the schools and
Right.
certain things like that, and kind of talk about that on a deeper level.
On a deeper level. I think on a deeper level, actually, what you're talking about in your album actually relates a lot to the Bay Area, because I think a lot of Bay Area fans of hip hop feel the same way. Like the Bay Area sound is seen in rappers' music across the country, regardless of where you're from, Atlanta, New York, wherever. And it's been seriously influential, especially in the last 20 years in hip hop. And so I feel like on your album, you're pretty much portraying the same thing. Like, yo, we've done some major moves in hip hop. You could hear it in this person's sound, but you think it's from Chicago or something, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty much the gist of what you're?
Yes, that is, you nailed it. That and then and it's just more so like when people who like aren't from the DMV,
Yeah.
they think of House of Cards, politics,
Mm-hmm.
president, and that has nothing to do with like our everyday.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean, like our everyday?
Like I mean that who's in president doesn't really matter to us. It doesn't really change anything. Like we're not politics. Like we don't see politics. I mean you do. They're so close. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So like you can see a Maybach go by, but then you go straight down the street, in that same street you're gonna see a crackhead.
That's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? So
to
it's
me.
really weird. It's very small.
DC. What's the population? Do you know?
I want to say it is 600,000 just in DC alone, not considering Maryland or Virginia.
Right. So DC, of course, is only there for the president and our government to operate and whatnot. But still, with having them there, the community surrounding them is still living in poverty and struggling. You would think that living in DC is like you made it.
Right, which is not.
It's not at all.
No.
So what do you think is like the main issue in DC? What is it, like a lack of jobs, a lack of?
No, not like a job. It's just more so like it's a gap between politics and the people. It's not a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, they don't coexist, and they're so close to each other. I think that's the biggest problem.
So they're just not acknowledging their presence there pretty much, or
Not
even,
really. They're just kind of pushing people out.
which is so ass backwards, because the whole point of you being there is to represent us and to help us. But then you got your peoples right here next door
Exactly.
who are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you really working on right now? I don't know. That's just my thought. Anyway, so welcome to the Bay Area. What brings you out here?
I have a show tonight at the Regency.
Nice. And are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Is it your headlining show?
It's co-headline with Denzel Curry.
Okay.
That's like the homie and whatnot. So we're like sharing a set on some like fun type.
On some fun type. So you guys are going to go back and forth on the set?
I don't know yet. We're like, I don't know.
He's like, we just go get out there and perform. Now, one thing I want to say about you, I know with your album, it kind of takes you all over the place. It's like a full picture and with your sound. But one of the songs that I was surprised, but I wasn't really surprised, but I was like, okay, he's going completely opposite. Meditation and Crew. Like comparing those two songs, how did Crew come in?
Crew is first.
Yeah.
Actually. I mean, but the thing about it is like the city is very it's very sporadic.
Right.
So everything doesn't really entirely make sense. So that's kind of like how I kind of created the music and the dynamic shift that happens kind of from the beginning of the album to the end.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of how that happened. It's a very spontaneous city.
It's very spontaneous. It's a completely different sound when you compare it to everything else. So it is definitely very spontaneous. And how did you link up with Shy Glizzy?
Shy's from around the way. So that's just like the homie. Like we was on the freshman cover together for Double XL. Like we came up in the same city. He from the south side, from like uptown. Like we just knew about each other.
Do things like that, like, do you get geeked when you hear stuff like that? Like, yo, I'm on a freshman cover of Double XL. Or you just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? You know how many people would kill for that? Like I'm not gonna make saying no names, but there were some rappers that were hot. They weren't mentioned for those covers. Or like BT's future top 8 rappers that are shaping hip hop. You were named in that too.
It was fire. I didn't see. I just seen that on accident.
Well, it was you, Kamaya, Migos, Ray Shremmer, Joey Badass, who I love, and like for instance, we talked about Migos the other day. Migos pretty much changed the sound of hip hop where it is today when they introduced their style. So to be included in that futuristic, this is what the sound is going to look like. Like, do you feel you still don't get geeked off of that, or?
Nah, only because it's like man gives the award, God gives the reward. So it's kind of like it's so much deeper than just accolades for me. It's not. I didn't get into this to do accolades and be considered this and that. I respect and I really appreciate that.
Right.
But I have a bigger goal in mind.
What's your bigger goal then?
Like, well, first it's like I want to help the city. You get what I'm saying? Like I want to help the people that need to, that I'm from. Like we never had help. And we never had an abundance of rappers come out or people in the music industry and actually succeed and then come back and give it back to us to make it easier for us, like Atlanta and Chicago, LA. So for me, first of all, it's like I want to avenge the city, and then I want to give back to the city, make a way for it, and then try to do the same for somebody else.
Wow. As I said, we can definitely relate to that. So who are some of the DC rappers that you're like, yo, why are people sleep on you? Who?
It's like a lot of them. It's a lot of them. But the one I would say the most is Cicero. He's the dude who started my new album. He was the first person you heard. And he kind of played like the voice of reason. And I think he's the
next one to blow.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're definitely excited to see. Did you ever want to start your label, or is that a goal of yours to possibly be like the front man of DC music?
I never thought about that.
I mean,
but
that's
I think
one way to put them on.
Yeah, maybe I kind of want to start my own strip club.
Shut up! You serious?
Yeah.
I've been to a strip club in DC. I'm not impressed.
They're trash. They're all bad.
Oh my God!
But that's what makes them all good.
What?
They're the worst places ever.
No.
They're the best places ever.
Since you're out here tonight, I'm gonna see if Cheryl's gonna let me take you to the strip club out here.
It's not happening.
I'll show you the worst place ever. Like, son.
Happening. Nah, it doesn't get any worse than, Fuego's is the worst place. That's why it's the best place ever. It's so bad, it's good.
Is the food good at least?
The food is crazy.
Okay.
And then it's like, you pay like $1 million to get in, but then it's like, if you pay an extra $5, you get VIP. Everything.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's the best place, but it's the worst. Like,
you know what's funny about this to me? I just don't see you as the type of person that's like, yo, let's go to the strip club and let's go get some lunch. Like, you just surprised me with that. He's like, it's pretty much often. So what's your favorite strip club then?
I don't go to strip clubs.
Really?
That's the crazy one. I don't do strip clubs. I only do Fuegos.
Okay. I only do Fuegos because it's so insane there.
Yeah, it's that bad. That's the place to go.
They probably got a plate of food that you love to get anyway.
It's just fire. It's a fire atmosphere.
Now, anyway, so you performed at Coachella.
Yeah.
How was that experience? That's huge.
It was amazing. It was weird. I was nervous. I was so nervous. I performed the best I possibly ever did ever.
Really?
But it was crazy because the new record only been out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So everybody knew the words to all the old records and the new records. And it was super fun. It was very fun. Everybody's like, yo, GoldLink had the funnest set.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At Coachella and certain things like that. So it was amazing.
Was it a different experience for you? Because Coachella is one of those things where every artist in the industry kind of comes to one place and it's just pretty much a big mash pit in the back.
It is.
Look at your
It's weird.
face.
Yeah.
Isn't it draining?
It's draining and it's just weird. Like, it's like a dream. And no, it's like the Super Bowl of artists.
It is.
Yeah, so it's like very elitist. It's like when you do that, you probably made it.
You can drop the mic and be like, I made it.
Yeah.
Like, I
it's
deserve
weird.
to be here.
Yeah.
So was there anybody there that you met that you were like, yo, I just met? Who are you a fan of?
Man, I'm a fan of Taz Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is dead. But yeah, so and then I met Pharrell yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So that was cool.
How was that? How'd that come about?
doing stuff, and then
Doing stuff
just
like
doing.
in the studio.
But yeah, like we were like kicking it and like see, I didn't answer the question.
I know he don't want to answer.
but-
That's cool.
No, we just did an interview together. He does the other tone show,
Okay.
so just that. And then I don't even know if I was supposed to say that. Whatever.
Oops.
But the point is, he was cool. He's
Yeah.
he's not from the DMV per se,
Yeah.
because it's like just DC, Maryland, and Northern Virginia. He's from Southern Virginia,
Right.
so he's like 3-4 hours away, but he could still relate to the culture, and we kind of like bonded on that.
Burrow's one of those dudes that is just a genius and pretty much understands all different sounds from different genres. So I'd actually like to see you guys possibly work together if that is ever a dream of yours. It's a dream for me, so I'll just dream for us both. Is that cool?
That's fine.
Okay. Now, I know that Andre 3000, I saw that he was one of your mentors, and I literally almost shit a brick. I love him so much. I don't know about y'all, but Andre is like everything for me. So how did that come about? Like, and what kind of advice has he given you that has kind of steered you to be where you are now?
It started. I did my first London show 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was, and this is that year when I think it's 2-3 years ago, whatever. When Outkast did Coachella and they headlined,
Yeah.
and he was I guess Outkast was doing a festival run, so he was in London at the time doing like festival.
Yeah.
So he came to my show. It was like a 500 cap, like a bar. It was like as big as this room. Like it was super small. And then he came. That was weird. And then I didn't get to meet him that night. He ended up leaving early.
Wow.
And then I ended up seeing him 2 years later. Well, my manager seen him 2 years later at the Coachella last year with his girl. They ended up connecting, and he's like, "Yo, I love GoldLink. Yo, like we gotta connect." So we connected again. On the new record, he came through and he helped me out a lot. And then we kicked it and we did things. And then the best thing that he said was like, he's with my homie or whatever, and he was smoking with him or whatever, and he was like, "Don't put." I'm sorry, I have a strong P. I'm so sorry. It's like a DMV thing. I'm sorry. Don't put your.
You do gotta fade away.
Yeah.
Right?
Just don't put these people as legends. Like don't categorize people like that.
Don't put them on pedestals.
Yes, more so not even a pedestal thing, but it was more so like a don't categorize people because you all can achieve the same thing.
Yeah.
So just don't do that. It just takes away from them, from
Really?
you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like cool.
Seem cool. Now, are you guys working on any music together? Because I mean, people live vicariously through Andre's friends, so they're trying to get music. No. I love when you do that because I feel like when you pull your mic down, you're like, "Nope, I'm not answering that question." That's pretty much a yes. I'm just saying. Well, let's bring it back to DC then, because I thought that this might be something that you'd be interested in. Everybody's been talking about Tom Brady's jersey and how he got his jersey back. But then the number one trending thing right after that at the same time was y'all can find the jersey, but you can't find 10 missing DC girls.
Sheesh.
Why do you say it like that?
It's crazy. I didn't know where you're going with this.
Oh, you didn't know where I was going?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little eclectic in
That
my
was
mind.
awesome. Yeah.
But that whole thing going on in DC right now, especially with just the heightened racial issues and whatnot, how does that affect you, and what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't have any thoughts on that. It doesn't really affect me, only because it's something that happens.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when they're like, "Oh, these black kids are getting killed by cops." It's
Duh.
like how many that's been happening for a long time.
Yeah.
It's been happening in the judicial system for how long?
Yeah.
Like, for example, like remember when the LA riots, right?
Yeah.
Before that, there was a girl who got killed at a Korean store, right?
Yeah.
Some girl like got killed at a
Just a
Chinese
child.
store. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like a black girl or whatever. And then they didn't get justice. And then when the Rodney King thing, everything just poured over.
Right.
And then it continued to happen after that.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of used to it. It's just kind of, I don't know.
I feel like that's PTSD though.
It is PTSD.
And a lot of people don't acknowledge that there is a serious issue with there being PTSD, with people experiencing things repeatedly in their communities or to their people where you just become numb to it. And that's not normal. So what do we do about that? Like, I just feel like now more than ever is a time that we need to make some serious changes, especially not just within ourselves, but in our community, how we treat each other, because obviously people don't know how to treat each other, as we see what happened in Berkeley this past weekend. It was a pro and anti rally, and it just became ridiculously violent.
Oh.
So, what do you think?
I mean, I think that like the change starts with the community, and it starts with that. So like my whole thing is like I don't know how this sounds, but I'm not the rioting guy. I'm
Yeah.
not the guy who goes out and gets mad and then he bases things off an emotion. I'm the plan guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Strategic.
Yeah, it just makes sense that if we actually care about each other, we care about our communities, then maybe we should start going to they have community meetings. They actually have those.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how about we go and we show face and figure out what's going on in the community so we can stay alert and figure out what we can do to make that change. And I
Right.
feel like if we start from the inside out instead of the outside in, then maybe we can make a real change.
So how do you touch those kids that really need that help, just kind of changing the path of their lives?
I don't know. I think it's talking to them. Like I think I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for an older cat just bringing me to the side and just telling me what he think without like preaching to me and telling me what I should do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was bad growing up. I was really fucked up. You know
No,
what I'm
believe
saying?
me, I should be in jail right now with some of the things
I was
doing.
bad. I was a bad kid, but it was a couple of good people that I don't even know to this day.
Right.
I don't know if it was God sending people or sending signs, but they would sit down, they would say something to me, and it would resonate with me, and I would look back at myself and think maybe I need to change.
Right.
So maybe if we do that more for kids, then maybe I don't really know. I'm still growing up. I don't know.
You still growing up? Don't say like that. It's like, I mean, if you go into the strip clubs and stuff, and obviously you wild out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I
What
don't
do
got it
you do
figured
for
out yet.
fun though?
Honestly, now these days I read.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite book right now?
Right now I'm reading Think and Grow Rich again.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's about if you think about anything that you want, you can achieve it.
Oh.
Anything, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that it's happening. You have to believe it's yours before you have it. Yeah,
He likes inspirational books. I like that.
yeah. And I'm reading about fabrics and stuff too.
Fabrics,
Yeah,
like clothing fabrics.
yeah.
Are you gonna start your own fashion line?
I just like reading about fabrics.
What?
What?
Don't say it loud. Because I'm really like, what? Read about fabrics. I've never heard someone say it like that. So you probably are like planning for something down the road. I know you're very strategic. You're probably not going to talk about it till you do it. But is that something that you might aspire to doing in the future? Fashion, anything like that? See what I say? Whenever he drops that mic, and you don't want to answer.
I don't know.
It's all good. Well, anyway, we're excited to see what happens for you for 2017. Continue shaping the sound of hip hop. Anything in this year that you want to get achieved before the end of this year? Like I know you're on tour right now, but any new tours coming up? Drop another project, mixtape, EP? No? See? Look, he never wants to talk about it. You know what? Where can people follow you to find out what's going on with you? IG, Twitter,
Yeah, I guess. GoldLink. It's just IG, Twitter's GoldLink.
just GoldLink. Do you have a website?
I don't think I have a website right now.
Not now.
No, we shut it down.
Why?
I don't know.
He like, I'm done. Well, thank you so much for coming through, checking in with us. Excited to hear. And if you haven't checked out your new album, what's it called?
At what cost?
Go check it out right now. iTunes, Spotify, all the things. Your girl Shay Diddy's 106 KMEL.